Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and I am pre-recording Top 5 Wednesday. I am changing my topic again. I am going to use my trusty journal and I am going to tell you my 4.5 and 5-star rate books that I've read since January and to now, to May, to June. So I'm going to go through my journal. I'm going to start from January and go through it. And I was going to do my 4 and 5 stars, but the video was getting too long, and I decided to go back and just redo it and just do 4.5 and 5 stars. So here we go. Starting in January, the first book that I gave 4.5 stars to was November 9 by Colleen Hoover. And here you go. That's what it looks like. And this one, I cried while reading this. I dropped it down a 1/2 star because I felt it was a little unrealistic. There was a plot twist of always. Colleen Hoover always puts a plot twist in there. Yeah, she's known for that. So, yeah, really good. Not many authors can do that, and not many authors can make me cry either. So this one made me cry. And yeah, I really like that one. So that's the first book that I read in January. The second book that I read in January was a 2016 must-read on my must-read list. And this one was told to read by either a friend or a YouTuber told me to read this one. So it was on my list. I was very hesitant to read it. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It's The Help by Catherine Stockett. So that's this one. And you notice I put 5 stars and I highlight it. So also I have a DNF on that page. So yeah. So anyway, The Help, I really enjoyed it. It has multiple points of views. Miss Skeeter she's 22 years old. She's a white woman who wants to be a writer. Aibileen and Minnie are black maids, and this takes place in the 1960s about black and whites. And yeah, it was historical fiction. I really enjoyed it, and after I read it, I watched the movie, and I enjoyed the movie as well. Okay. So the next book, I'm only going to do 4.5 and 5. 4.5 and 5 stars. So the next book is also read in January. It's a nonfiction book. I finally read The Glass Castle by Jeanette Wells. Here you go. Jeanette Walls. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I finally read that one. I really enjoyed it. It's nonfiction. It's about the author's life. But I dropped it down a 1/2 star because there was some points of the book that I thought was outrageous. I thought she was making things up. So yeah, but it was really good. I gave it 4.5 stars. Yeah, highly recommend it. You read it. It was really good. So yeah, so that one. Okay, moving on. I'm not doing the 4 stars. Gonna keep going. Here we go. Another 5 star. I read this one in February. This one, the author contacted me and asked me if I wanted to read one of her books. And I was like, okay. So yeah, it was on my Kindle. I read on my Kindle, yeah. I don't normally read on my Kindle. So yeah, this one was a 5-star read. It's called Cracks in the Sidewalk by Bette Lee Crosby. That's this one here. And I'll tell you a little bit about the book. It's based on a true story. It takes place in New Jersey, which is really cool. I had many emotions reading this one. I had sympathy, hatred, hope, sadness, love, etc. I even cried while reading this. The story was told by the grandmother. When her daughter dies, her husband runs off with the kids. So the grandmother's trying to get back her grandchildren. It was really heartbreaking, and I really liked it. It was 5 stars. Okay, moving on. Skipping my 4s. Coming up to another 5. Okay, another I think I like historical fiction. Another historical fiction book. This one is a YA book. I read this one from the library, and after I read it, I bought the book. So it's Salt to the Sea by Ruta Septis. It's this one here. And this one is historical fiction. So it's based on a real life story. It takes place in 1945 when a cruise ship, the William Gustloff, it sunk carrying over 10,000 passengers, of which 5,000 passengers were children. The story is told by 4 teenagers that all had a secret. It was really, it was a page turner. I really loved it. I love that each chapter was very short, so I was able to put it down and then come back to it and not get lost. Yeah, and it was great, and I actually bought the book after I read it from the library. So yes, 5 stars. Okay, moving on. Skip my 4s. Skip my 4s. Coming up to a 4.5 star. Okay, this one I need to finish the series because I own the books. I gave this one 4.5. It's by Meg Cabot. It's called The Shadowland Mediator. That's book 1, but I read it, The Love You to Death. I have the Australian copy. So this is what the original copy looked like, and this is what the Australian copy looks like. Sorry. Yeah, I really like this one. I read this with my book club, and it starts out like a contemporary, and it moves. There's a woman, Savannah. She moves from New York to California with her mom, who marries a guy who has 3 stepsons. And then there's ghosts. So yeah, it was really cool. It was a page turner for me. I thought it was really cute, and I want to read the next book to it. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. So I didn't think I was, but I liked it. Okay, so the next book I gave 4.5 stars to is a Amazon First Reads. Now, I get a free book every month because I'm a Prime member. And the free book that I chose for the month of February was The Light of the Fireflies by Paul Penn. And here you go. That's what it looks like. Now, I like this book because it reminded me of Flowers in the Attic, because I read Flowers in the Attic in the 80s, and I really, really enjoyed it. Except this book is about a family that traps themselves in the basement. So it's really eerie. It's strange things happen in this book. It's told by a 10-year-old boy. It's very dark, lots of twists and turns, and it was a great roller coaster ride. But it's kind of twisted and kind of sick. So yeah, if you want to read a horror, I think it would be classified a horror. Anyway, I gave it 4.5 stars. Yeah. All right, so the next book that I gave 5 stars to is The Things We Keep by Sally Hepworth, and that's this one here. And this book is about memory loss, and I love to read things about memory loss. This one was a page turner. It's told by 3 POVs, and I normally don't like when there's other POVs, but this one I really liked. The first POV is Anna. She's 38 years old, diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Her family puts her in an old age home. So the second person that narrates the book is Eve. She's a cook and a housekeeper at the old age home, and something tragic happens to her. And then there's Clementine. She's Eve's daughter, which is 7 years old, and I cried reading her point of view. Yeah, it was about bullies and true love. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. I really enjoyed that one, so I gave it 5 stars. The next book I gave 4.5 stars to. It's an audiobook that I listened to. It's book 2 of a series, and it's Hidden Bodies by Carolyn Kepnes. That's this one here. Okay, this one continues Joe's story. He's a serial killer. And it was a little slow at some points, so that's why I dropped it down 0.5 star. And I gave it half a star because there was one point in the car while I was listening to it, I was laughing out loud, and there was vulgar language, and the vulgar language, it was so funny. He just says, just call it a fucking triplet. And I never heard that before. And I was like laughing out loud. I couldn't believe that I was laughing. Yeah, I don't curse and I don't like cursing, but I thought that was so hilarious during that part. And I was in the car. I had to pull over the car because I was laughing so much. So anyway, so yeah, this book is an adult book. It has adult content in it. There's vulgar language, which I don't normally like. There's sexual content and there's violence and murder in it. But yeah, but that point, that little thing with the triplet that dropped it down, it brought it up another half an star. So yeah, I don't really listen to or read any books about triplets, so I thought it was like hilarious. So anyway. Okay, so the next book, I'm looking for 4.5 and 5. So, well, the next book is a graphic novel. Chew, I read a book 4, I think. I don't know if this is 4 or 5. I don't know. But I have it as 5 stars. It's this one here. It's a graphic novel. I continue on. This was a great addition, this one. It's called Major League Chew. And this one was more about Tony. And I liked how they brought Tony's family into this volume. So I thought it was really cool. It is gross. Yeah, you have to have a good stomach to read this book. It's about a guy named Tony. He's a detective and he eats things and can see what happened to them. So if he eats an apple in an orchard, he could see where the apple grew and what. So if he eats other parts, he could eat body parts and see where things came from. It's kind of gross, but it's enjoyable. Anyway, 5 stars for that one. Okay, moving on. Okay, here's a middle grade book that I gave 5 stars to, and we're in May now. So, the book that I read was The One and Only Ivan, and I gave it 5 stars too. It's a middle grade book, and it looks like this one. Sorry. Looks like that. And it's really, really cute. It's about a gorilla. His name is Ivan. And this book is written in verse, so I read it kind of quickly. And he's trapped in the mall. So there's other animals involved. There's an elephant, and there's great friendship in this book. It's great bravery, and it also gives hope. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was 5 star. So 4, 4, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. It looks like, oh, here's another one. Okay, another middle grade book. Okay, the middle grade book that I listened to on audio is The Shadows, The Books of Elsewhere, and it's by Jacqueline West, and it looks like that, middle grade. And this one I'm actually bringing to school tomorrow because they're doing a video in school and I have to do my favorite book. So I'm going to bring that one with me because I don't think anybody's heard of this book before. So I really, really thought it was really cute. It's middle grade. The girl that's sitting there, her name is Olive. There she is right there. And she moves to a new house, and it's a mansion. It's big, big, big house. In this book, the cats that live in the house start talking to her. And I love animals when animals start talking. Yeah. And I thought it was really cool. But there's other things that start happening in this book. There are paintings on the walls, and the paintings start coming alive. And I thought it was really cool. And I listened to this on audio, and my kids were listening to it as well. And I really enjoyed it. So this is a series. It's book 1 of a series, so I will continue on eventually. I own, I think, all the books. So, yeah. So that's that. And we are finished. So I think I got 5 books in there. I will count them when I do my video and update at the end. Yeah, I hope there was 5. But yeah, so I did 4.5 and 5 stars up to now. So yeah, so that's that. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in another video. Bye!